ආයුබෝ වේවා කලසෙත් මුදුන් වේවා දෝෂ දුරු වේවා සක්‍ර මහ බඹු ආයුබෝවා
The wait is finally over. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the distinguished guests and to all our spectators present here at the IEEE Boost 2021. The IEEE Sri Lanka section is bringing to you the most awaited event of the year, organized by the Student Activities Committee of Sri Lanka section of IEEE. For the second time in history, the IEEE Boost 2021, an exciting 3-day virtual event which brings 20 student branches, 30 student chapters, and 15 student affinity groups over the entire nation together to participate in a series of entertainment-filled and value-adding sessions. As you all know, we all are gathered here today to witness the very first day of the IEEE Boost 2021. That being said, I'm Pavani Vikramtilaka and I'll be your host for the day. As we have a lot more in store for you today, I heartily welcome you all to join us throughout the session and make the most of it. Stay with us till the end to find out what we have planned for you and most importantly, get inspired. That being said, let's kick off the very first day of IEEE Boost 2021. To open the remarks of IEEE Boost 2021, we have a very special guest today. Help me in welcoming Mr. Dhammika Marasinghe on Spotlight with a virtual round of applause. Mr. Dhammika, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Pavani. Good evening, everyone, for joining us today in this Friday evening. I hope I am clear as well as you can see me.
Yes, we can
Great.
hear.
Okay. Thanks a lot for joining today. Today, you all might be wondering, we had like frequent interactions over last 2 months. It started with IEEE Spread the Word, where we share some of the things about how exactly you are doing an event and all this about spreading the word of IEEE. And then we actually spread the word with a really good initiative. And for the first time, we ran an initiative in 20 student branches at the same time with 32 speakers and covering about 1,600 audience. That is Adahare, that most of you have heard of, or else you might have been part of. So with that, this is the third episode of the full series from the Membership Development Committee, who's under IEEE Sri Lanka Section Student Activities Committee, IEEE Boost. The program here actually is supported from IEEE Region 10 Student Activities Committee with their financial contributions for the fund called MDLT, Membership Development and Leadership Training. So over the next 3 days, including today, we'll be looking into multiple areas. Today, starting off with the volunteering aspects and some of the tips and things that you can do as an IEEE volunteer. And tomorrow, we are going to look at how exactly you can build leadership. This again in 3 verticals, starting from dynamic aspects that you are not usually heard of from IEEE perspective. So after that, we'll also have a very engaging session tomorrow. We hope you all who are joining today will join that session as well, because uh, we all we want you all to experience all that experience. And then on the third day, we are focusing on the membership development and how exactly as student branches we can proceed. So that's the whole uh, plan that we have with the IEEE Boost, which we do for the second time. And we hope you all will get the best out of the program. Before we start off with the next segments, where we are today focusing on membership development and the voluntary aspect of IEEE, uh, I might be like not completing my task if I didn't give you a glimpse about what IEEE is and how we are at this point in Sri Lanka section. So just want to give you uh, small numbers that we have to realize how big we are in terms of numbers after starting from 2003. We've now grown to 20 universities in all 9 provinces in the country. We are kind of the only student community who's catering to all 9 regions in this level. It's 2,500 member base and still growing, and we hope we'll reach more this year. Specifically, most of you who are joining today as undergraduates, you all are the very key essence to IEEE Sri Lanka section strength. If you look at the stats last year, 70% of our member base from these students, and they are on your screen sharing is paused. Let me check. Can you see it now? Great, I hope. So this is the set of universities that we have in the country. With 20 universities, we are really powerful now. With the help of all the student activities committee alone, we are looking at 60 organizational units. Those can be student branches, WIF intergroups, and student society chapters. So with that, like, we are doing a lot of different things other than the boost that we are doing. So you all might have heard of different initiatives that we do in terms of education and career guidance side of it. The Stud Pro as well as SL Inspire projects, or else IEEE Innovation Nation, or Coded WI, to help you all to learn and also practice innovation and entrepreneurship. Then when it comes to technology, IEEE being the world's largest technical organization, is advancing technology for humanity. Techno Meetup, Let's Talk, AI-driven Y2N Pro, which you might heard in few days back, AI-driven, even the symposium that we have. And just like we have the Boost event today, we also have Sri Lanka Section Congress, which we hope you all might be joining in December this year. And if you are IEEE member, or just like if you are a IEEE member, IEEE Extreme is something that you shouldn't miss, because it's a really fun and engaging competition which you can attend for 24 hours. And electronic design competition, 3-minute thesis competitions, likewise, there's a lot. And with Boost alone, we have 3 contests going on. We are really happy to announce that we had uh, really good participation from most of the student branches. And one of the contests is the student branch video contest, which after this session, you can actually go into IEEE Sri Lanka section Facebook page and show support to your student branch. And there were like even a fund introduced this year for membership development, as well as student branch recognition, which you might be hearing about all these things in the third day when we have the recognition ceremony. So I hope you all got kind of idea about IEEE, what's going to happen in next 3 days and all of these things. So without taking much time, let's dive into the first session. So with that, thank you all again for joining, and I hope you all will enjoy the session lineup that we have. Okay, good luck. Over to you, Pavani.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dhammika, for the warm welcome and for addressing the audience with your precious words as we begin the first day of the IEEE Boost 2021. So to evaluate your time and effort put into this, we would like to present you with a digital token of appreciation. Mr. Dhammika,
Thanks a lot.
our wholehearted gratitude. Yeah. So now let us move on to the first segment of day one of IEEE Boost 2021. We have an interesting segment titled My IEEE Story, which is an experience sharing segment of our ERA's volunteer. Today, we have brought a very special guest to share his experience and what he has gained along his IEEE journey. May I now invite Mrs. Shamika Sudhusingha to share his IEEE story. He is the current secretary of IEEE Region 10 Student Activities Committee and has also served as a sectional student representative of IEEE Sri Lanka section in the year 2020. Mrs. Shamika, the spotlight is all yours to inspire our attendees with your IEEE volunteering journey.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you're perfect.
I believe you can see my screen as well.
Yes, we can.
Yes, please.
Yeah, great. So, hi everyone, I'm Jamika. I'm currently serving as the secretary of IEEE Region 10 Student Activities Committee. So, today I'm gonna give you an idea about what I experienced being an IEEE volunteer. So, I hope so. Just to give a small introduction about myself, I have been volunteering for 4 different segments in IEEE. So starting off with IEEE Student Branch of University of Moratuwa, then I served in IEEE Sri Lanka section as the section student representative, and currently I'm serving in both IEEE Region 10 and IEEE MJSAC for 2 different positions. So just to give you an idea about what I have done in volunteering and what I have accomplished. So this image shows some of the events that I was part of and some of the awards that I got being a volunteer for IEEE. So one of the key
Shamika,
points.
sorry to trouble you. There's a bit of a noise coming from your mic. Maybe a connection issue. Maybe your microphone jack is not connected very well. Can you try?
I'll just change my connection.
Sure. It might be not the connection. Maybe it's a headphone. Okay, cool.
I think you can hear me clearly now.
Yes, it's much better, loud and clear.
So apologies for the trouble that I caused. So if I have caused an inconvenience. So just to give you an idea about what are the special moments that I had been part of IEEE. So one is that I served as the section student representative of IEEE Sri Lanka section back in 2020. So if you are new to IEEE, section student representative is the key volunteer who is responsible of handling all the student volunteers in Sri Lanka. So it's about like 2,500 student members in Sri Lanka. And of course, I was fortunate enough to become the first student volunteer from Sri Lanka to win the Richard D. Mervyn Scholarship back in 2020. So I believe the applications are open for this year as well for the winter term. So if you have volunteered for IEEE for the past 2-3 years and have done some interesting activities, I think you should apply as well. And other than that, I have volunteered for national projects in IEEE Sri Lanka section as a secretary, and overall, I have more than 4 years of experience of being part of IEEE. So today, I would like to give you an idea about like how you can shape yourself being in volunteering IEEE. But just before that, I thought just give you a glimpse of how I shape myself in IEEE would be beneficial for you. So starting off, the first interaction with IEEE for me was Code Experts back in 2017. So it was an competition organized by University of Moratuwa student branch for school students. So I was not a volunteer or I was not in the organizing committee, but I was a student who was coming to University of Moratuwa to be part of this competition. So that's where I saw what IEEE student branch of University of Moratuwa was doing. And eventually Code Experts was one of the award-winning competitions in IEEE Region 10 because it got awarded Daryl Chong Award. So that's where I got to know that there's an organization called IEEE in the university atmosphere and about what they are doing. So that's the starting point. So starting from that, I got the opportunity to be an undergraduate at University of Moratuwa, and currently I'm studying computer science and engineering. So my volunteering journey started at volunteering for IEEE Extreme, and then I was fortunate to be a delegate for IEEE Sri Lanka's section Congress in 2018. So even though I was in the first year in the university, I got this opportunity. And this image shows one of the captures that I had in the Congress in 2018. And this is not just an image in the Congress. This is the most famous and the most popular image in the Congress that year because our team won the award for the most popular image there in that year. So I'm just sharing it with you all here today. So the Congress was a very inspirational event for me because I got to meet lots of people there, and I got to know about the projects organized by IEEE Sri Lanka section. And I got an idea that IEEE is not about just our university, but it's about the whole world, because the speakers that I met there were from different parts of the world, and they were like having top positions in IEEE. So that was a key moment that I had in my volunteering journey. And then of course I was volunteering for my student branch. I was engaging in various projects. I organized Mora Extreme competition. And then again in IEEE Sri Lanka section, I was part of SL Inspire, IEEE Techno Meetup. And as I mentioned, I was the sectional student representative for the term 2020. And now I'm currently serving as the secretary of IEEE Region 10 SAC. And of course, I'm a member of membership retention and recovery at IEEE MGSAC. So I just organized this in an order. So I started at the student branch, then I climbed to the next step and went to the topmost step that we can go as a volunteer in IEEE. So this is just a brief, this is just to give you all a brief idea about like how you can shape yourself. So even if you are at your first year, and even if you have not heard about what is IEEE Region 10 or what is IEEE MGSX, you can start from the student branch and you can climb the ladder. So as Dhammikaya mentioned, he mentioned about the projects that are existing in IEEE Sri Lanka section as well. So there are opportunities arriving at your hand. Maybe you can apply for next year if you have not part of the projects at the moment. So let's go to the next slide. So today I'll be concentrating more on this slide because I want to give you an overall idea about how volunteering will help you over the years. So there are like three things that I want to highlight. One is leadership, and one is experience, and one is networking. So just to give you all an overview about this, I'd like to ask you a question as well. So the question is like, what do you consider leadership as? So maybe a definition, what would be the definition for leadership in your mind? So I'd like to have your opinion about that. So we can define it in various different ways, but I'd like to hear from you as well. So I need answers, right, from you guys. Come on. So if you're lazy to type, so you can just unmute yourself and answer it. So Dhammikaya has answered. So Dhammikaya says that influence for the betterment of a group, achieve a task. That's right. So other than Dhammikaya, Dhammikaya is a very experienced volunteer, even more than myself. So he's been volunteering since I think 2011. So what about the opinions of the newbies? So because we are concentrating on, as I heard in the topic as well, it's about our era of volunteering. So I need your ideas. So Eranga says ability to guide a society to the next level with the right vision, and that's correct as well. So yeah, I'm getting answers. Ability to influence a group towards achievements of goals. That's right. So yeah, so we can define leadership in various different ways, but what we have to consider here is that when it comes to leadership, it's not about like not just about leading a set of people. So when we are a good leader, when we are actively engaging activities, what we have to make sure is that what we do as a leader is sustainable. So for example, if we consider about this event, so this is IEEE Boost. So this was held last year as well, and it was initiated last year. So this event is continuing for this for the second year. So it was initiated by last year's student activities committee, and I was leading the project back then. And this year it's continuing as well. So what that means is that what we have done last year had a significant impact, and the team who are leading the SAC this year has recognized that this is a very good project, that they should be continuing it as well. So when you are a leader, what you have to do is like you have to do things, but they have to be influential, and they have to leave a mark. And the second most important thing when you are a leader is that you have to build a team. So when it comes to any competition or any project, so if you lead this project this year, what you have to do is like you have to build the team to lead the same project next year. So because you'll be there as a leader for 1 or 2 years, and you might be able to oversee those projects, the same projects that you were involved in, maybe like 3-4 years at most. But after you have done your contribution, those projects have to sustain. So what you have to do is you have to build a very good team, and that team would be able to build a generation of leaders who will be able to continue that project. And the next important thing is when you are organizing an event as a leader, you have to make sure that, let's say, if it is a continuing event and you become a leader in some point. So maybe let's say IEEE Boost 2.0 that's happening this year. If you consider about IEEE Boost 3.0, if you get the opportunity to lead the project, you have to make sure that you are doing something different in your term. For example, if we consider about a project that I led, so it's about Mora Extreme 4.0. So until Mora Extreme 3.0, it was a competition held within the university for the students of University of Moratua to shape themselves to perform better at IEEE Extreme. So when I became the project chair of Mora Extreme in 2019, so I thought about it. So I thought about the Sri Lanka. I thought about Sri Lanka and thought about how many students are participating in in IEEE Extreme. So I recognize that there are like only few universities in Sri Lanka that are organizing some sort of competitions for these students to get ready, and most of the students are caught off guard when they're participating in IEEE stream. So they might be seeing those questions for the very first time. So I decided myself that I should be the one to make more extreme a national competition other than a university competition. So I took the lead and changed the atmosphere of the competition from the university level to the national level. So more extreme in 4.0 became a national competition, and I think there were more than 300 teams who were participating in that competition and over 1,000 students. So it became the uh, most actively participated coding competition in Sri Lanka that year. And that was also uh, held after the Easter Sunday attacks. So it was really challenging for us as well, because we had to organize it within the university, the competition. So a part of the competition was held online because we were not able to give access to the students who were coming from other universities to be at University of Morocco. So it was partially held online, and then we were able to give the opportunity to the students of University of Morocco to have the atmosphere of a coding competition at the university. So we face different challenges when we are organizing, and when you're organizing an event. So as I mentioned, you have to take it to the next level. So as as Iranga mentioned, what we have to do is we have to take it to the next level. So the next point about leadership is about when an event is organized, you have to make sure that there might be different challenges that might come at you. For example, if we consider about this very movement, so I'm presenting you all about how IEEE shaped me. So this is also a situation that I'm managing a crisis. So just to give you an idea, so I got to know about that I have to deliver this session at 6:15 around 5:45. So I got like 30 minutes to make sure that I'm delivering this session in less than an hour. So I originally thought I had to present it around 7:15. So I was like leisurely getting ready to deliver speech and preparing, finalizing the set of slides that I had. But somehow the situation changed and I had to present in like 30 minutes. So here am I presenting it to yourself. So a good leader. So what I could do initially was like I could have talked to the organizers and I could have said that, so I have just 30 minutes. You guys have mentioned that I'm delivering it at 7:15, so I'm not having enough time, and I could have quit. So me quitting this event would jeopardize the whole event. So instead of that, so with the volunteering experience that I had, and with the events that I've been part of, like I have delivered many speeches as well. I said I'll be doing it at 6:15, and here am I delivering you about my experience. So it might not have like tens of like 20-30 slides, but I'm managing itself and I'm managing the crisis. So as a leader, what you have to do is like you have to be exemplary about what you're doing. So you have to help the volunteers who are leading projects. So it might be national level, it might be university level, or you might be a volunteer who is at the IEEE regional level as well. But when it comes to the events at all these level, as a leader, what you can do is like you can influence the leaders who are coming from the university level to shape themselves better, to be at better to lead themselves. So that's one thing that we can do. So I'm just showing you some set of key pointers that you can get when you're volunteering. So as you can see in this image, what's evident is like when you're volunteering for IEEE, there are like many other benefits in IEEE, like there are competition, there are various different resources. And as you all know, IEEE is the world's largest technical professional organization. You will get all the benefits, other benefits in IEEE when you're volunteering. And I believe there's a special session organized for you all to inform you about all the benefits that you'll be getting from IEEE. And the other point that I want to highlight is that IEEE does not end at your graduation. So when you are entering a university, so consider about myself, you have various different options that you can consider when you are in your first year. So there are like various set of clubs. I'm not going to name them, but you have to pick one or two of them. So maybe two of them would be the most that you can select, because you have to manage your academics as well. So why I choose IEEE was might be evident for you guys, because I explained about my first interaction with IEEE. So when it comes to IEEE or any other organization, what matters is you have to start early. So if you are in your first year now, you are seeing these slides, so you are getting to know about IEEE for the very first time. This is your chance, because you have 4 years to engage yourself in IEEE as a volunteer. So there's a ladder for you to climb, and you will get the opportunity as a fresher to start from scratch. You can start as a volunteer, as I did, and you can then move along the ladder. And the more you engage in, the more activities that you do, you'll be recognized. So it's not about like thinking about the recognition, so thinking about the awards that you can get and volunteering. It's about you doing something impactful, you doing something, you making a change, and you leaving your mark. So likewise, if you do influential work, you will be rewarded. So in our case, our student branch in our term was able to get a Darrell Chung Award for IEEE Gum at the event. And if I mention about myself, I was able to get the Richard D. Mervyn Scholarship. So likewise, when you are volunteering for IEEE and doing various events, you will be recognized eventually as well. And the second point is about experience. So I gave you an idea about leadership. Now it's about experience. So as it is mentioned in the pointer, you'll be exposed to a diverse set of projects, and you'll be able to utilize both your skills, and you'll be able to learn and refine what you have, and refine what you lack. So when it comes to project experience, what you can do is like you can organize different set of projects, and you can cater different key areas when you are volunteering. Because if you are engaging in the project for the very first time at the university without volunteering, for example, if we say like you are doing a project in a module, so you'll meet different obstacles when you are doing that project. So how volunteering helps is that when you are volunteering, you will meet the same obstacles when you're volunteering. For example, if I say about last year, 2020, so no one expected 2020 to be such dull, with we all have to stay home, we can't go out and have fun. So 2020 was the year I was appointed as the section student representative. So when I was appointed as the section student representative, I had like various plans. For the event. So for example, if you consider about the projects mentioned by Dhammika, like Congress, Technomeetup, SL Inspire, and IEEE Innovation Nation, I was able to like witness all those events in 2019. I was part of all those events as well. So I had in my mind that I do I do these changes this year. I elevate this event from this level to the next level. So, but unfortunately for us, we were not able to have those events physically. So we had to go through a paradigm shift in 2020. So whereas we had to organize events virtually. So a Congress, which is full of like 200 to 300 individuals, we had to organize it online, and we had to give them the same experience that they would have when they participated physically. And we have to make sure that those people who are attending are being benefited as well. So over the past few years, if you think about all those volunteers who were part of Congress would get a gift bag. be able to attend recreational activities, and they'll be able to network and have fun. So we had to maintain the same atmosphere when we are organizing it online. So it was challenging. And when it comes to the budget, so the Congress was held physically with more than 10 lakhs of budget. So how we are going to cater it online, and how we are going to reduce the budget and give the same experience to the volunteers. It was challenging. So it was just about one project. So there were like 4 projects that we organized through SEC. So when we are organizing those projects, we get a lot of experience, and we'll be able to utilize our skills, and of course we'll be able to learn new skills as well. So that's about the experience. And even more, if I further explain it, so we'll be able to have the opportunity to realize our own project ideas. So there are like various opportunities available at IEEE to do different projects. So they'll be funding us as well, and maybe we'll be able to get a grant from IEEE for organizing projects, and such like that. So when we can organize a project of that we like, it's a very good learning curve for us, because sometimes we might think that we might love doing some sort of projects, but ultimately when we are doing those projects, although we have the idea that this project would become successful, we'll meet lots of obstacles. But as a volunteer, when you're organizing those projects, you'll face those obstacles, and maybe your project might fail. But even if it fails, you'll get the experience from that project. So for example, if you are a volunteer and if you are successfully being part of these projects, although they might fail or they might be successful, when you are doing a project that matters for you, so maybe your final year project at your university, you will have a tons of experience when you are doing your final year project, how to like impress the panel of evaluators that your project is going to be successful, how to convince them that your project will provide the deliverables on time. So when it comes to things that matter most for you, you'll be utilizing this experience that you get from volunteering. And finally, about networking. When it comes to networking, IEEE introduced me to a whole lot of individuals. So I met lots of friends in IEEE, from the student branch, from the national level, from the international level as well. So I'm like I'm talking to all of them at a regular basis and maintaining friendship as well. So it gives you the chance to learn to network with peers from your own age, and you will be able to network with IEEE volunteers, senior volunteers as well. They'll be able to like guide you in your academics or in your career as well. So it's all about you being a passionate volunteer, and you doing what you love, what matters. So that's like what I have to mention about how you will be shaped in IEEE. So finally, before I am winding up, I'll just show you like how you can climb the ladder in IEEE. So you can start from being a volunteer in your student branch, then you can move into the sectional level, and then to regional level, and finally to MGA level. So IEEE gives you lots of opportunities for you to be a good leader, get lots of project experience, and how to and to network with influential individuals. So that's about it from my end. So thank you very much. And if you have any questions, it's time for you to ask.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Shankar, for sharing your story and IEEE related experience. I guess for now we don't have any questions. Yeah, so yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
Yeah, please feel free to ask any question if you all have any questions. So Mr. Chamika will gladly answer your questions.
Yes, so if there are no questions, I'll wind up as well.
Yeah, okay. Thank you once again, Mr. Chamika.
Yeah, sure.
And your story is indeed inspiring. And I really hope everyone got a clear vision on how to engage in IEEE activities and why should they be volunteering in IEEE. So to show you our gratitude, we would like to present you with a digital token of appreciation. Ms. Chamika, please accept this digital token of appreciation.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you again.
With that, we mark the end of the segment, My IEEE Story. And now we would like to give you some insights on how to utilize vTools, e-notices, and other IEEE resources effectively. We have the ideal person with us today to conduct this segment. May I now call upon the sectional student representative of IEEE Sri Lanka section, Ms. Lihini Rajpaksha on Spotlight. Ms. Lihini, the spotlight is all yours to brief our own members on how to utilize IEEE resources and make them.
Thank you, Pavani. Hope you can say everything now.
Yes, you can hear, see you as well as see in the screen.
I'm sorry about the inconvenience caused and to have you waiting. So, talking about the vTools. Usually, what do you mean by a tool? The noun we have in the dictionary is that the device or implement, especially one held in the hand, used to carry out a particular function. We usually use a tool to do a particular task and make the task easier. So volunteer tools, or simply known by us as vTools, it provides information, a very large information on a large range of developed tools for your use. And when you talk about vTools, the main thing that comes into your mind should be, oh boy, we should report the events that we do, or otherwise we won't get our rebates. Even we tell you that we won't be giving you the rebates if you do not report the events on vTools. Actually, it's true, but there are a lot more to that than that on vTools, which you can utilize in your organizational units. There are a lot more than just event reporting or office reporting or student branch reporting. So these are the tools that you have in IEEE MGA, e-notices, events, office reporting, SP reporting, voting, web in a box, membership validators, surveys, open voter, OU analytics, and remote conferencing and screencasting. You can use any of these, but the most important things are the e-notices, events, officer reporting, SP reporting, and OU analytics. That are actually the most important parts for your organization units as student branches or affinity groups or as well as chapters. Moving on, I'll start with e-notices. E-notices, let me show you a small video about how to create e-notices. I hope you can hear.
Yes, we are seeing it.
Can
You
you
might
hear?
have to walk us through.
Uh,
Yes, we can hear now.
yeah.
The e-notice system is a powerful tool that allows volunteers to send emails to customers or members. To create a new e-notice, first click on List of e-notices. Next, click Create e-notice. This is the interface used to create e-notices. editing the subject top left. The two displays groups we have access to. In membership grades, you can select the types of members that you'd like to send your e-notice to. The buttons at the top can be used to filter common groups. In membership status, you can select the current status of your desired recipients. In reply to, you can select an email to be used for replies to e-notice. The priority tab will determine the order in which your e-notice will be processed by actual staff. And the privacy box allows you to opt out of preparing public feeds. You can schedule a reminder for your e-notice right below that if you would like to add an attachment.
Okay, so that's how you create an e-notice if you are doing it the first time. This is simply an electronic messaging service developed for IEEE organizational units to facilitate email distribution of newsletters, meeting notice, social events, and IEEE conference materials. Email addresses are taken from the IEEE membership database, which you usually update or renew when you create the accounts. That is taken from the data that you supply to the database. And that's how the e-notices are sent to your organization and unit members. The officers of volunteers who are the executive boards of the student branches can email the members about the events that are being held in your student branch. As an example, if you have an event organized by your student branch, you just have to enter the details to the event reporting, and then there is an option that which you can send e-notice to those who have registered or the ones you have added there. The features that are in the e-notice is that you can create e-notice content using event information, as well as you can manually add it into the content description bar, or send email reminders to event attendees. You can attach the agenda, speaker profiles as well there, and you can personalize an e-notice as well. As in the bar that it was given, you can add the message that is given so that it goes to the person that you have personalized. And customization of the e-notice is there as well. You can enable or disable the tick which was shown in the video to give access to reply or not as well. I hope that's clear by you end. And moving on. Next is the events in vTools. This is a snapshot which is taken from the tools page of the IEEE.org videos, and it is used for creating and managing local events. Actually, for those who are in Sri Lanka section and the officers that are reported there, they can only access and see, I mean, like check the change, you can check the events from there, but the access for the events that are there only for the ones who have been reported at the officers. And officers can create meetings, announcements by entering all relevant meeting information, which are now called as events. Before it was known as IEEE meetings too. And you can create event announcements by entering all relevant event information in one central place. Each created event is accessible at the V2's event website, and the events are automatically exported to various sites such as Collaboratech, IEEE Event Finder mobile apps, and many more. So this tool comes in handy when you want to create reports. There you see the event report event or report administration, and you can report the events there. And when you want to create a report, once all the details are submitted to that one, you can just download a PDF there, including all the events that you have submitted. So I guess that all the secretaries are with me in different branches here. You know the trouble of writing all the reports that needs to be perfect. So you don't have to manually do it. From this, you can just simply add the details and download it. Next, this is the officer reporting, which all of you have to do once the AGM is done, AGM or IGM. For the very first branches, they have the inaugural general meeting, and the rest AGMs. So once that is done, the existing ones, the officers, either ones that are reported in the officer reporting tool, has to go there and change or add. You can either add the roles as well or change the positions. You just have to get the names and add the officers, and before that you have to end your term and then add the officers. The ones who are added can add or remove the ones in the officer reporting tool. This enables authorized volunteers to make modifications to the officer roster for a given region, council, section, or a chapter. Officers of the branch shall include at least a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, a treasurer, or a student branch counselor, and a student branch counselor. This tool provides automatic validation and updates the central updates of the central IEEE database. When you go to officer reporting and click on manage officer tool, you will be it is not shown here, but when you go there and click the manage office tools, you will be able to change the officers of your branch. Next is student branch reporting. Using the student branch reporting tools in V2s, IEEE student branches should submit annual plans and report event activities which were held on the past year and the ones that you are hoping to have in the next year as well. A student branch is required to hold at least 4 activities per year. The annual plan is to be submitted by 1st of February every year as a rule brought out by the IEEE Region 10. Otherwise, the rebates will not be given to the section which have not submitted the plans. So you have to do, every student branch has to do it. The annual plan is the one that you will be doing for the next year. Even if you're changing office roles the next year, you have to submit it and then leave it to the next executive committee. And OU analytics. All these are accessible by the ones who have been reported in the officer reporting tool, and OU Analytics gives you the statistical data and the number of counts of the memberships that you have, graduate students, and everything that you need there are included in OU Analytics. And it is the visual business intelligence tool for volunteer access to member data. These are the ones that you usually do not use, I guess, but you can always use. This tool can be used to quickly create the surveys, can be used to quickly create online surveys. Online surveys using intuitive interface and distribute them via email or web link and other means of communication. And remote conferencing and screencasting is the tool that you have for conducting and recording remote or offline meetings. Okay, I guess there is a small mistake. Let's move on to the IEEE membership validator. And that is an online utility that allows volunteers and staff to easily and securely check IEEE member status, grade, and society memberships and offer discounts available exclusive to IEEE members. And the tool is web in a box. I guess it's new to many of you guys. And this tool generates simple websites for a section, a chapter, or an affinity group that are automatically updated. I briefly explain, these are the 11 tools that you have here, and I briefly explain them. And if you need to check the step-by-step process of doing each and every of these ones, because if I take one tool and explain it all to you, saying that you have to go here, click here, it might take more than 1 hour, at least 20 minutes for each tool. So it would take a lot of time for me to teach you how to do it step by step. So if you want to check all this stuff, how to do it step by step, it is all there in the knowledge base of IEEE tools. You can go there and check all the ones. They have PDFs, they have videos, they have they have all the things that are, they are all sorted out and uploaded for your use, so use them. If you have any questions, just direct them to us. And that would be the end of my session. Thank you. If you have any questions about the tools, just direct it to us.
Thank you so much, Lini Rajpaksha, for that informative and illuminating session. To value your time and effort put into this, we would like to present you with a digital token of appreciation. Once again, thank you for your valuable time. Next up, we have the question and answer segment. So again, I would like to invite Dhamika Marasinghe and Lini Rajpaksha on Spotlight to conduct the Q&A session. And the audience, now it's your time. If you have any questions or doubtful things to clarify regarding IEEE, like how to collaborate with the Sri Lanka section and how to collaborate with the Student Activities Committee and so on, you may now direct them to the Ms. Dhamika or Ms. Lini, and they will gladly answer your questions. So the audience, you may drop the questions in the chat box, else you can use the raise hand option as well, so that the organizing committee will let you to unmute your mic and direct the question.
Look forward to the questions if there is any. Do we have anything?
Let me check.
Pavani?
Okay, so this one question. Yeah, I got another one. So the question is, how can someone join volunteering in IEEE?
Okay, volunteering in IEEE, I think if you are looking into the presentation Chamika did, we touched into multiple areas. So there are multiple ways you can take, and it's great because you are already a new member of IEEE. So you've taken one step, which is not even mandatory step to volunteer in IEEE, which taking the IEEE membership, which we always encourage members to do. But some members, what they do is they initially start volunteering, and then because of the hang of it and some of the interesting things that they can gain from IEEE, then they continue volunteering by taking the membership. To start off with, it start with your student branch because that's the easiest place. You know all your friends who are doing IEEE likewise. So the best option, start with the student branch. Sometimes you might be wondering, okay, I do have our student branch, but I still am confused in terms of whom should I contact. So in that case, the best place, start with your executive committee. If you know them, there are different ways that you can find out this information. Let's say like one problem these days, most of the people have, they've never been to university sometimes. For example, the first years, due to the pandemic, like they haven't even seen their seniors likewise. So it's most of the time online. So it's still like even online, you can find these student branch people. For example, if you go to rosters.ieee.org, you can find your university. You can find all the people from student branch chairman to vice chair, secretary, all this information. So that is one way. I guess the person who's asked question is giving some more information. Maybe we can change. We attend many activities and doing many hackathons, but still okay. So this part is the you are actually like not volunteering, you are engaging. So this segment what we call as engaging, because now you engage with different kind of activities that IEEE does likewise. The next part, there's a set of people who are actually organizing these different kind of hackathons and different kind of activities that you do, and that's where the volunteering side starts. Most of the people, like they might start with very small things. Sometimes it might be just sharing a poster, or else comparing an event, or else sometimes managing the Zoom, because there's a lot of things that we can do. For example, in this call itself, it's put in spotlights and then like taking the questions likewise. There are different avenues. And then once you are done with like those small works, sometimes you might start with even bigger works. For example, in my case, I enjoyed IEEE Extreme. That's the main reason why I joined IEEE. And then next year, since we had only very few number of teams, actually like we only had 3 teams. Next year, we organized IEEE Extreme, and we even did some training sessions for whoever the interested students. So there we started volunteering. And rather than like even volunteering at Sri Lanka section, after coming into a Sri Lanka section Congress, what I did was I got to know about some opportunities, and based on some of the previous experience that I had, I even got a chance to apply for art in Congress organization. So likewise, there are a lot of organization opportunities. Best option for you, initially start with volunteering at section level, student branch level, then look for all the opportunities coming from Sri Lanka section level. One good thing to look at is IEEE Sri Lanka section Facebook page, or else any other channel, be it Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. And there's a Facebook group also, which you can join if you are an IEEE member. So I'd ask you to join and then start the journey there. After that, you may find out a lot of other voluntary activities, which I won't share now.
Yeah, if I add a little bit of a note to that, person is saying that he doesn't have any idea with that. Even when I started, I did not have any idea about what IEEE was. I just went to volunteer. I didn't even know what IEEE standard for. I just went to volunteer and just help with the way you help with people. I just went to help with people. So start there. Student branch is the best place to start, like Tamika said, and you can just climb ladder after that. I think the reason that he's saying is that student branch is not active. That's why we are struggling that part, that they cannot volunteer in the events. That's one of the reasons people have, even in the pandemic, they cannot. So I guess you can come up as well. I mean, it's not just a duty that the executive committee has to do to plan the events, and you just go there and help. You can ask for them, and you can plan the events as well, if they give you the chance. Yeah. Try to take the initiative, and then you will be able to do more volunteering with IEEE.
Yeah, so I got a direct message. Can you give some idea about how can I join to the IEEE Council?
IEEE Council, actually the only place we have councils are the places we can't manage sections if the country is too big. For example, in India, we have a council because in India, there are 6 sections because the country is too big to manage as a section. So in that case, there's no place for you unless you are in India, because even these council or kind of opportunities are geolocked. So only if you are a part of that region, usually you can volunteer in most of these things, other than like different other volunteer opportunities that we would have in region 10 or MGA. So that's not a part of council, but if what you are referring to is by council, how actually you can take different kind of leadership roles in your student branch, that's the executive committee that we are referring to. And for that, annually, your student branch would have a AGM. There you can actually nominate yourself for any kind of volunteering activities. And likewise, you can engage if that's what you are referring to by council.
Yeah, so there's another question that is, can we do collaborative events with SAC? And yeah, what's the value of collaborating with SAC?
Collaborative with SAC, I think there are multiple benefits. One, from our side, let's say if your student branch is in need of guidance or connecting with some party. For example, SAC is the one who's managing industry relations portal, the different kind of social media channels, likewise in IEEE Sri Lanka sections. So if you need like any kind of support in terms of different kind of financial, then there's a form coming from industry relations committee where you can actually like submit the form about different kind of potential sponsors that you need to approach, and then based on the responses from student activities committee side, you'll be connected with the initially, like we'll collect the proposal and get the idea about what kind of activity that you want to do, and then based on that we'll also share some of the contact points that we have with our CRA. The other point, if you want to get in touch with any kind of speaker, that's again another thing that we help in terms of finding out speakers, be it local or global. That again is something that you can. In the other way around, if there are any problems that you are facing, you might be not able to resolve that within your student branch. In such cases also, you can get connected with IEEE. But if other than that, like there are different other collaborative options there too. For example, the recent event that we did under Harry, it's a collaborative event, collaborative with under SEC. So they are like we evaluated different features, because one thing that we wanted is from all student branches how exactly they execute, likewise, and also to identify different kind of pain points that they would have, likewise, and then as a payback, when after they are done with the event, we can actually like evaluate the things that they've done, what kind of things that they can improve, likewise we can identify. So these options are there. Then when it comes to national projects, they are in like multiple pillars, as I mentioned. There are educational focused events, technology focused, and entrepreneurship likewise. So these pages again, like they'll help you with co-hosting your events. For example, if you are doing a technology related event, by sharing it with the Techno Meetup community, you can actually like get the message to more audience, because then the techno team will also like share with their internal communities that they have, likewise. So there are a lot of different kind of opportunities like that. So the best option is, if there is anything that you think of, just write to us, or even like WhatsApp or something like that, then we'll be able to help in the best way possible.
Okay, so just one more question. If we make mistakes while reporting events through the vTools or Sri Lanka section reporting, can we edit them?
If the question what you are asking is on reporting the numbers on vTools, then in such cases, as of my knowledge, you can't. after you are done with the submission. But that again, something that I need to check, because personally I hadn't done for some time. Yeah. So Peshan says he who was like last SEC chair, you can actually edit those for 2 weeks. So after that, it's not possible. So within 2 weeks you can. Thanks, Peshan, for the answer.
Yeah, so we are getting questions. The next question is, how can student members connect with the section and SAC? I think we already answered, but would you like to add a little bit more?
Write to slsac@ieee.org and we'll reply. Different answer now.
Yeah, simple as that then.
Or else you can message to Facebook page. You can trouble anyone in your student branch saying that you want to connect with SAC. You can message us on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere.
Yeah, okay. So the next question is that, will collaborating with SAC create a professional network?
Lihini, you want to like take a avenue on that, because from your engagement, I'm pretty sure you got to know about few people.
Yeah, you're talking about IEEE.
IBON and all different kind of activities that
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, mainly regarding that, actually, the professional connections, as in when you're doing a collaborative event with the SAC, it most of the time it depends with the speakers as well as the sponsorships, I guess. Even in any of the events, that's the most that's the very thing that that depends having professional connections. But talking about the collaboration with SAC, the SAC pool has a lot of connections with speakers, the inspirational figures, as well as sponsorship, the ones who are up to giving the sponsors to IEEE. So with that, you will be able to, if you create that, there are many things that is dependent on that question, because that in my own experience, you have that you have to be like the attitude that you show towards the ones that you are connected means as well. So going back to the question, I guess there is a little bit more than the ones that you do alone in the student branches. If you collaborate with SAC, there is a little bit more one step ahead for the professional connections that you can make there.
Okay, so there's a few things that seems like Lihini forgot with the pandemic. Let me share some of the experiences, but some of the things that happened before pandemic and some of the things that we are even doing now. IEEE Sri Lanka section level, we engage with multiple stakeholders and also work collaboratively with Sri Lanka section as well as young professionals and WIE. So with that, we get a chance to like get volunteering experiences with different kind of national project, maybe sometimes with different kind of collaborative activities we do with multiple student branches. There are the opportunities that get, for example, if I take about some of the industry collaborative sessions that we did, for example, with SLASCOM, where we help with their bridge program, and sometimes like with some other programs. And but again is a benefit. For example, about 16 volunteers from that year who were engaging with the SAC in different levels, they got a chance to go and participate in AI Asia Summit in Shangri-La. So why it is important? It is not a student that's created for students, usual undergraduate. It's a event created for corporates, but I think like even Chamika, Lihini, some of them like they participated, and the network that they created by getting to know about different kind of international level speakers, getting to connect with multiple speaker persons from different companies. This is a usual experience that you won't get by just engaging with the US student branch activities. That is actually an event that we were doing prior to the pandemic, but you might be saying, okay, now we are in a pandemic and we can't go to Shangri-La and get COVID as a treat. That's not what I want from volunteering. So in that case, some of the things that we do these days, for example, outreach partner programs that we are doing with the Techno Meetup team. So these teams, again, like they are closely working with companies like LSCG, Capstars, and it's a single volunteer like who's taking care of that connection. Why this is again important? When you actually go into the industry, uh, you don't have to like introduce yourself again. They already know, for example, like the person who's volunteering with LSCG at this point, and if he's going for an interview, and they don't have to like introduce about the company or himself. These people that we are working along these days, they already get to know each other. So that's another benefit that they get. So likewise, there are different opportunities that you get by volunteering with tech, as well as collaborating with SAC in different engagements. For example, uh, another program that I want to highlight, one program that we ran with Microsoft and University of Peradeniya. So what we did from SAC side, we were the one who's collaboratively connected the Microsoft team with the student branch, and with the help of that, we managed to like ran a cloud challenge in the student branch, and with that, like the team actually like they even got some of the team that they got Microsoft certifications and some other benefits. So likewise, there are a lot of benefits. So see SAC as a place where you can actually like sneak into industry much faster than your own student branch.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dhammika Marasinghe and Him Rajpaksha. Seems like, okay, that's another question. If we are volunteering in national projects now, and as a next step, can we do volunteering for region?
Of course. So Chamika, I guess, like shared a good experience because what he was previously, he was a volunteer in SL Inspire project as well as a technometer. And then he was volunteering with the Sri Lanka section. And then now he's volunteer at region level. Or else if I take another example, like a person who's chairing SL Inspire these days, Sevandi. She volunteers in her student branch, and then she volunteered with the SL Inspire project. She didn't took part in any kind of Sri Lanka section XCOM or likewise, but she volunteered as a secretary in IEEE Region 10 YP Summit. So likewise, there are different opportunities. And why volunteering with national projects matters is when you volunteer with national projects, you build your community to much bigger level. Is the moment you volunteer in a national project, you get another 25 friends in another like at least about 10 plus universities. So there itself, you are creating your IEEE community. Because now the moment you create your community in a much bigger round, you get to see like different things that they post, different things that they share, different other experiences that these people go through. And when you are volunteering section, you also get highlighted from Sri Lanka section side of it, student activities committee, YPWI. So all these people get to know about your volunteer capabilities. And then whenever there are different, like, for example, like if you want any kind of recommendations, now there are people who have worked with you in higher positions. They can actually recommend you for different positions when you actually apply. So that again is another benefit that you get when you volunteer national level.
Okay, there's another question. That is, can we organize events collaborating with SAC? For that part, we already answered. So,
Of course, and even like previously, a few weeks back, we called this proposal for membership development fund. There again, like we promoted all different kind of collaborations, and though we didn't mention too much information, or though we didn't reveal too much information back then in terms of evaluation, one thing that we are actually looking at is how much collaborations that you do with your fellow student branches as well as from SAC. So it's always open from SAC side. We are happy to help with any activity that's possible from our end.
so like the same question, it's asking for what kind of activities can we collaborate with SAC?
For the moment, from SAC side, we have identified multiple focus areas. You might have seen when I was doing initial welcome, we are focusing on multiple segments. For example, let let's take entrepreneur side of it. So in terms of Innovation Nation is now even linked with the ICTA, where with their incubation program. And from a ICTA side, that's a MOU that Sri Lanka section and ICTA is also having. So from our side, what we do, if your student branch is doing any kind of entrepreneurship related activity, or for example, hackathon kind of thing, then we can help you in terms of different kind of judges, things like that, as well as we can also make your program that whatever the things that you do, as well as even the winners who are coming out from your hackathon, kind of recognized in the national level. Why this is important? Because as you know, like when you organize a hackathon, it's not the, I mean, the moment you are done winning the hackathon, it's not the end of the whole journey. After that, there's a bigger journey that these students has to go through. So these are the places where SAC and national projects can help you. And even in terms of, like, let's say your student branch is doing different kind of technology focus session, there again, if you collaborate with a project like Technometer, as I mentioned, they'll help you reach into these different kind of audiences. Same with, let's say you are doing a career-related program, YP Stud Pro. Likewise, they'll help you in these programs. But if you are doing something really new and innovative, we are always open to hear those and see for possible kind of opportunities.
So another question, I think we have time, so let's get this as well. To get into volunteering in national projects for the first time, what experiences a person should have?
Volunteering at national level, actually it is a bit competitive. That's something I need to say, because it's a very big number of applications that we are getting for this year. If I'm not mistaken, it's 500 plus applicants, though we are selecting only about 112 kind of a volunteer base. From our side, of course, we are working on increasing and implementing different kind of new projects, likewise, to give more volunteer activities. But from a student perspective, what they can do is start volunteering with anything that's possible. And when you are even filling these different kind of applications, we do not only ask for different volunteer activities that you done in your student branch. Of course, we consider a set of volunteers who have proven their experience in terms of volunteering their student branch, but we also allocate a certain number of seats in each project to really new volunteers, because we want to give opportunities for both parties. So one thing that I can say, take the application form seriously, because that's the one place that we actually look for different kind of achievements and things that you have done. So it can be like you might have done different kind of volunteering activities in your school or even university, and if you have done your volunteering activities is IEEE with your student branch, that will be really, really beneficial.
Yeah, that taking the application series is one thing, because we have never met all the people who have volunteered. So that is the place that we evaluate you guys. So the ones that you submit, the questions that we ask, the answers that you submit, and they are only, okay, whatever the volunteering thing that you have done, just place it over there so that we know that you have done it, because we do not just check for a guy in FBU, LinkedIn, and if you have not listed there as well, so we don't know what you have done. So the application form is the sole thing that we check out for when we are selecting the volunteers for national projects. So yeah, as Monica said, just take it very, very seriously.
Yeah, so I guess that's it.
There's one more question. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to answer this or not, because we cover it every time we do an event. How to get IEEE membership and what would be the price? Can we get it for free? Second, like other volunteering organizations, the IEEE membership is not free. And
But we are giving some free membership tomorrow.
so
Not
you
tomorrow, day after.
ask
Stay
all the,
tuned and stay engaged with the under and the whole boost throughout the series. one more thing, just want to share a few things since you asked about the membership. Since due to the COVID scenario, of course, IEEE membership for students, they can get a 50% discount. And when they are renewing, they can use Future 50 code. So this code, again, like you can find if you go to our Facebook page, or else someone from our membership development committee will even share that in the chat. So use that. And another tip, when you are taking the membership, most of the students, like they think if seems like it's a halfway through, and now is kind of like this time that we can get the membership there. Don't go for like half membership, because one downside you have there, it's only valid till end of December. The best option, if you are like renewing in terms of like September or from a time period, you can actually get the membership for the next year. So for example, that's a trick that I even used when I was in first year, and when I want to attempt IEEE Extreme, because in that way I can attempt 2 IEEE Extremes with one payment.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that as well, Dominica. So due to time constraints, I guess we have to wrap up the Q&A session.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so
If there are any more questions, maybe you all can write to SAC, because that will be kind of the easiest way for anyone. We'll put our email address. So if there is any questions, you may write to us.
yeah. So thank you once again, Damika Masinghe and Himraj Paksha, for your cooperation. And the audience, you all may reach out to Ms. Lihini or Mr. Damika later if necessary. And thank you very much for your active participation in the Q&A session as well. And we really hope that all your questions got answered. So
We
with
hope
that,
so too.
yeah. So the organizing committee will share a feedback form in the chat box now. And please take a few minutes to fill out that form, as we would love to hear from you. Or else you can scan the QR code displayed on the screen to access the form as well.
Don't keep this thing as something that you do tonight. We ask you need to do it right away.
Yeah, just it will not take much of time. So that brings us to the end of the first day of the IEEE Boost 2021. And in order to wrap up the proceedings of the day, I invite the chairperson of SAC Membership Development Subcommittee of IEEE Sri Lanka section, Mr. Vidura Dhananjaya, to deliver the vote of thanks. Mr. Vidura, over to you.
Yeah, you guys can see me and hear me as well, I guess. Hope so.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Give me 1 minute. I'm just having some technical difficulties. Okay, all good. Okay, and it's been hell of a day, I guess. And thank you so much, Mr. Damika, Lihini, and Mr. Chamika, for being speakers today. And on behalf of SAC, I would like to thank each and every one of you for being speakers for this tremendous good event, and all the participants, thank you so much. And Pavani, thank you so much for being the moderator for the day. As well, we have MDT, we have Dilshan, Tanuka, Roshan, Nandisha, who's been doing their best of the best to organize this event as well. We have PV team and AR team, who's been the most effective support system for all of these events that have been happening all throughout this year. And then, once again, I'm thanking each and every one of you for being here today with us, as well as for being part of this amazing event. Last but not least, let me tell you something. Today is not the end of these sessions. Today is just a start. But tomorrow is where good things going to happen. So be with us tomorrow. I expect a way better crowd than this, because tomorrow we are going to have like so much of crazy stuff. We are having inspiration speaks, we have leadership speak, we have personal branding speakers out there, and we have a prize pool around 100,000 rupees. Don't forget that. It's up to you guys to get as much as you want from it. And join tomorrow, win prizes, and good night. Over to you, Pawan.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vidura. And now it's time to wrap up the today's proceedings of day 1 of IEEE Boost 2021. So as Vidura mentioned, wait for a fantastic day 2 of IEEE Boost, as we will be bringing you with a whole new experience of IEEE with some engaging and fun-filled activities as well. And plus, we have a prize pool of 100,000 rupees for you. So you all have the chance to get your hands on the prizes. So make sure to join us in the next 2 days as well. That being said, I conclude the proceedings for today with a warm invitation to join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. Till we meet again, stay safe and have a good night.